As we watch some of that ceremony right here, for those of you just joining who perhaps are not as familiar with the story, I think it's worth reminding what happened. That was just over a week ago. It was a week ago yesterday on Thursday, and you'll recall that there was that civil process server who was going to serve an eviction notice and who was shot. And that call went out to police. Police quickly responded, and Officer Cody Allen was among the first to run into danger. And you heard his colleagues, fellow officers, saying that's who he was, that's not his legacy, that's a testament to the type of person he was. That was who his character was. He did not hesitate to run into danger. Scott Mosier telling us again that some people have that and some don't. And those who do, they are called to serve. That is just ingrained in them. And that's what he did that day, even knowing the dangers. You heard other officers who also bravely acted to try to get him out of there. We heard from his father thanking firefighters and EMS and those other first responders who were there that day, who tried to respond as quickly as they could and who were there by his side till the very end.
We're watching officers pick up 3 encased flags. Scott, talk to us about these and what they mean.
I believe these flags are going to be presented to the family at the gravesite. And that's determined by the chief of police as to who gets the flags, but typically the flag on the casket will be folded and presented to the wife. And then the children may get a flag, the parents. So this is for the remembrance and the, I guess, the gratitude of, you'll have something always to remember them by. And the flag I have that my wife received for us, it sits still in my house. And it's a constant reminder of the sacrifice, but it's not a sacrifice reminder of the bad that him losing his life. It's that he lived his life in such a way that he was a hero as well. And it's a reminder of who he was. And I will continue to look at that with admiration because he taught me, in his death, he taught me what good moral service is by giving the ultimate sacrifice. And it's not for everybody. And 99% of all police officers never get in this situation, though it's unfortunately seems to be more and more. And I hope and would pray that no police officer is ever put in this situation, but it's going to happen.
A dangerous job, one most of us who are watching right now certainly couldn't do. There were a couple of things at the beginning of the funeral that touched me just to pass along. The chaplain sharing, it's okay to cry tears. Tears are cleansing, and it's okay to smile. Smiling is healing. So it's okay we saw both of those emotions today. Tears, as people are mourning the loss of this incredible person, but also smiles, remembering the warm memories, the happy memories. Lindsay talked about, joking about his love for peanut butter, or an officer joking about grievances he would jokingly keep and would remind officers. And so there was some levity, there were some moments of humor in there, and it's okay to feel both because both honor the memory of that person, right?
Yes, it does. And, it's like if someone doesn't even know your son, comes up and just says, hey, I'm sorry for your loss, and you should feel proud that he served his community in the way he did. That is beneficial as well. But if you have a story about your loved one, that's appreciated as well. I would hope that the public would never feel, or anyone that doesn't even know me, would think that, well, they're going to hurt my feelings. I want them to come up and share that information with me, because it brings me back to thinking about my loved one and cherishing all the good that they did and that we did together. All those emotions come back, and it's healing. It has been for us.
You see these final moments preparing to leave the Community of Christ Church in Independence and make this journey to the Odessa Cemetery. See the great care they took, just like Scott was describing, with the flag on top of the casket to prepare for this journey. I'm always touched so much by the deep symbolism in every single part of these ceremonies, and we know now we've given a little bit of a preview of what we're going to see after the journey. Once they get to the Odessa Cemetery, we believe we'll see the family walking, and that Officer Allen will be transferred in a horse-drawn caisson. And we're going to be following along all that. We have crews along the procession too, and I imagine we're going to start to see more and more people fill in along that procession along the way. You see that fire truck that Charlie showed us with the American flag, a huge American flag that will be flying over as they drive through. There it is, a live look. That's the Gladstone Fire Department that Charlie said was there set up, asked to come and help out and have that symbol waving high above. So many law enforcement agencies are stepping in, not only to come to the services and to support the family here. You heard them say they saw people that had traveled from far away, but also to continue offering policing for the community in Independence that needs all of that 24/7. So Independence police officers can be here for their family, for the law enforcement family, and mourn this loss of Officer Allen.
You know, we don't know much about his children. Again, a son and a daughter. We understand that they're younger, but one of the things the chief of police there in Independence shared with them, he said, your dad was a superhero, and the only thing more special than him was his love for you. So hopefully, even as young as they are, that they will hear these stories as they grow up, and they will know how loved and appreciated their father was, how respected he was in his department. Again, another fellow officer calling him, quote, a case study in the pursuit of excellence and integrity, going on to say, quote, his actions that day show you exactly who he was. Just a glowing endorsement from all of those who spoke today. Someone who was well respected, who was well liked in his department, in the units in which he served, and hopefully those types of stories, as Scott was saying, his children and his widow will hear in the years to come, and will continue to bring them comfort.
And then other ways, his little sister talking about just, what a big brother he was, and how they wanted to go camping, and all of us know a big brother that we know and love, and that's exactly what he was to her, and how she thought they had more time to go on so many more adventures, and how loved he was.
We heard a challenge from, I believe it was the deputy chief or one of his superiors, I think, had issued a challenge and said, I would like to challenge you all in this department to live more like Cody. And again, talking about that moral code under which he operated, the integrity with which he served, and his ability to see the good in people and the good in situations. And we heard someone saying at one point that he could never hold a grudge, that he had a forgiving heart. And so getting that glimpse of, even with all the horrors our law enforcement unfortunately sees on a regular basis, that he still wanted to see the good in people. And I thought that was touching too.
Look at all the people even just here. And it took a while to get to this point because so many people wanted to say, you saw officers in uniform from several different departments wanting to come to the casket and say goodbye before they left. This is a place, there were hundreds of people inside the funeral. Let's listen in.